Hi, we're Modern Stage Comics, and I'm Gene.
And I'm Kiyoshi.
Today we're going to be going over House of X number 2. Stick around.
Alright, cut that out. It's an old joke now.
Huh?
We need a new joke now. Can't do it every episode.
That's the theme. Man, this issue was pretty crazy.
It was very crazy.
A lot of things happened. They made this super D-list character become A-list important.
Yeah.
Right? Moira McTaggart.
Yeah, she went from affecting very little to literally everything in the whole entire Marvel universe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they gave her the powers of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, or, you know what, I'd say probably closer to Live and Die Again. Well, the movie was called Edge of Tomorrow. Really good movie.
Oh, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you see it. I mean, I really loved it. It's based off of a manga, Japanese manga, I think. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Check it out. Tom Cruise and Emilia Blunt. Emilia or Emily?
No,
Blunt?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
Oh.
You know, and actually, Emily Blunt would probably be a really good cast if they decided to cast a Moira and do
Moira
like
McTaggart.
a movie MCU version of this.
Maybe, yeah, but dude, you can't do that, man. She's gonna be Sue Storm.
Sue Storm? Is she actually?
I hope so. With her husband.
Oh, her actual husband?
Yeah.
Are they actually casting him as Reed?
As well, you know, that's
That's
what everybody wants.
Okay.
You know, I kind of like how it opened up. For some reason, I had this. I don't know if you've ever seen Pushing Daisies, but that narrative where the guy just talks about Moira's life, her first life.
Oh yes.
And then she lives a long, happy life with grandkids and all that stuff.
Well, does it say grandkids? It said the three main kids.
Yeah, she had 3 kids, and then from those 3 kids, she had 8 grandkids, and then she died in her bed peacefully.
She did.
And then she woke back up.
She did. In the womb, no less.
In the womb.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, she's like this fetus who's thinking and, she's already doing stuff that...
Yeah, well, it says she had a perfect recall of her previous life. So it did mention how, you would think that it'd be unsettling to be in the womb for that long.
Yeah.
But she said it was supernatural.
Yeah, she actually found it comforting.
Yeah.
Because she knows what lies ahead. She was still confused about what's going on with her.
Yeah.
She, was walking early, talking early, and doing everything early and her parents just thought of, maybe she's just...
Well, she did already mention that since she noticed she was different, she was already starting to hide it from her parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if she let on too much, maybe they
would think she'd be treated differently.
Yeah. Or they maybe do experiments or maybe something because she was way too smart for being her age. Which is crazy. That was her second life?
Yes. Second life.
And then she goes on to college because she's smarter. So she actually goes
to Oxford.
To Oxford, yeah.
Oxford, yeah.
Where she meets, or doesn't meet, but sees Charles Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and at this point, she's going to college as a psychology and biology major.
Yes.
Because at that point, she's trying to figure out what's going on with her, too.
Yep, she doesn't realize. And then I guess she goes back home or something, and she sees on TV Charles Xavier again coming out to the world as a mutant. So she goes to see him.
She gets super excited. She's like, oh my god.
Let's do this.
Yep.
And then she dies.
Yeah, so plane crashes directly into the ocean, and she's died. That's life too.
And then she wakes up again.
Yeah, she does.
So we go to Moira's third life, where, she does the whole thing again. She goes to Oxford, and she actually meets Professor X, but thinks he's kind of arrogant.
Yeah.
Doesn't really like her.
Yeah, she sees him at the bar and her face is like, whatever.
And then she comes to think of her mutant powers as like a disease.
She does.
I mean, it even says it's like a cancer.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she tries to find the cure for the mutant powers, which they have done that multiple times in comics.
Yeah. X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yeah. God.
The greatest X-Men movie of all.
It's my favorite.
It's my favorite too.
Yeah, I think that one's right up there with my other favorite, the Wolverine origin movie.
Oh, let's not go there. Yeah, she takes this third life, and it's purely devoted to making this cure.
It is.
Which she actually succeeds in doing.
And before she's about to show it to the world, well, she did show it to the world, but after she does, 2 characters pop up and pretty much just put a halt to it.
Yeah, Mystique and Destiny.
Little known character. I had to look it up. I had no idea who she is. The name sounded familiar after I got her name.
Adler?
Irene Adler. That sounded super familiar.
He's from the animated series. Dr. Adler. The one who was helping out Apocalypse.
Okay. So, Destiny pretty much tells her, it's like, you're betraying your own kind.
Yeah.
You need to stop.
And on your next life, you need to make it better. And she even says that she sees 10 lives for her, 11 at the most, if she makes the right choice.
She pretty much tells her, if you don't, we're gonna kill you. She's gonna kill her again, because since Destiny's power, which I don't think we talked about it, her mutant power is seeing into the future, so possible futures. So she can pretty much see whatever Moira's doing. So they're parallel counterparts.
Yeah, they're like rivals as far as their powers go. Like,
Which
one
she
sees
hasn't.
The future, one lives it.
Hasn't turned up yet in the comics. I mean, in this issue.
Yeah.
So this is the only time we see her. So, of course, the rest of the comics, as we'll go into, she pretty much, in the immediate next life, she starts, like, actually looking into the mutants and...
She actually falls in love with Professor X.
Yeah, so then we'll go into the 4th life now.
Yeah.
So she does, fall in love with Professor X. She actually listens to what he's saying, says that she moves past the arrogance and sees that, like, he actually wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
And, like, that passion...
is what made her fall in love with him.
Yeah, so they have really cool scenes.
Yep. They create, that shows everything from X-Men First Class to giant-sized X-Men.
Yeah, and it even goes into a little bit after Avengers vs. X-Men, where the Phoenix comes down and possesses Cyclops, Colossus, Magic, and Emma Frost.
And then it goes into what looks like Days of Future Past.
But then, after that, it does say that it radicalized her.
Yeah.
So she goes to Professor X again.
On the next life, she goes to Professor X again. And she tells Professor X early on. Yeah,
I think it says 10 years earlier.
Yeah, and just lets her see in her mind what happens. And it actually radicalized Professor X as well. So they go on to create this this new world, I guess, for mutants.
Yeah, I think they called it the Faraway.
Yeah.
So she decides and Professor X decide that if they can't coexist, then they'll just put somewhere away that they're far away where they can live in peace just by themselves. So they're like super happy living in like a disguised dome. It's not really disguised in the picture, but I assume it's some kind of stealth technology because that's what they usually do.
But even in this life, they find out that Trask is the one that makes the Sentinels.
Yeah. And
Sentinels become the end.
They do the faraway genocide, so they pretty much kill everybody. It does mention, we'll talk about the timeline a little bit later, but it does say that she gets put in a coma at the genocide, and there's a little gap in between, and then she dies.
Well, that's just it. It never really says she dies.
Well, what did it say right at the end?
The genocide.
So she got put in a coma, and then the genocide happened?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. No, I've done extensive research on this part with the dotted lines.
Okay.
On any of the dotted lines, she doesn't die.
Okay.
So I don't know what that all
means. Will theory craft at the end.
Yes. So on the next life, she devotes her life to stopping the Sentinel program, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, not even just that. She just, at this point, she's just like, I hate... She's tired of it because at this point she's watched everybody die twice at this point.
Yeah.
So it's like she's like super tired of it. So
so she goes to military training, right? And then she goes on this like Trask bloodline hunt.
Yeah, she kills his entire bloodline, his daughter.
Assassinating all of them.
But she kills them all. And then when she actually goes to stop the Sentinel program,
she realizes it's not an invention; it's a discovery.
Yeah, so AI, just like she compares it to the X gene, she says at some point in the timeline they just show up.
On her 8th life, she teams up with Magneto.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And it doesn't show. I thought they were going to be like it seems like she gets romantically inclined with everybody she goes with, but she actually is like bowing down to him. And he has, and a side note, the throne he's sitting on is kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like a big octopus squid throne. I don't know if that's like continuity. It looks kind of weird.
But eventually, Magneto reaches his demise, and it's actually kind of cool how he gets defeated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers,
team up with the X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
I did notice though that Moira. I don't know if this all happened today because in the timeline it mentions that that Magneto takes over America.
Yeah.
But she's still wearing the same clothes?
Hey, comics. Comics, man.
This all happened in a day.
This is comics. Hey, how do you know she just didn't decide to wear the same clothes she was wearing?
She just happened to be wearing a raincoat?
Yes.
The same day when it wasn't raining?
No, but she realized Magneto didn't work out either.
Yeah.
Right? So on her next life, she goes to an even more extreme end.
Yeah. She mentions that it was just pretty much the choice not chosen.
Yeah.
And she goes to Apocalypse, of all people.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, she wakes him up from his tomb. Mm-hmm. And knocks on the moon. No, just kidding.
But yeah, so Apocalypse, man.
Yeah.
This one was kind of crazy. I guess it just turns into a forever war, or just a war.
Yeah, it looks like, through looking at the timeline and the panels, it looks like she actually becomes one of the Horsemen.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's already, when she wakes him up in the scene, there's 2 people there, and then Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And then later on in the next panel, it looks like she's one of the 4.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. Especially since she doesn't have... I mean, at this point, she has military training. So
Yep, she's got military. She's an assassin.
Yeah.
Right?
But in the desert, is she an assassin or she is a Sanson?
God. We don't know the full extent of what happened during this timeline.
Yeah.
Right? And then it just jumps straight to the 10th timeline.
Yes, and it says that it doesn't mention that she dies, but it says that
she dies.
If nothing's going to work, it says she's going to break all the rules, her and Charles.
Yep. So it takes us back to where Powers of 10 #1 opened up on the park bench.
It does.
Which is also where it ends. And then they show us this crazy timeline about everything that happened.
Yes. Yeah, it has the whole it's like a 3-page timeline of all her lives. And at this point, too, is really interesting, which I didn't notice a couple of small things, but Gene pointed out. But one of the major things, firstly, is that one of the timelines is missing.
Yeah, the 6th timeline.
Yeah.
It's not on the timeline page, on the Hickman panel. And when they're explaining it in the book, it goes straight from 5th life to 7th life. Mm-hmm. So what happened in the 6th life? Like, I don't know. Why would they leave that out?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
Well, obviously left it out on purpose.
Yes.
But then the other thing that you mentioned.
So my theory, this is what I think.
Yeah,
right?
A theory.
This is my theory. This is what I think. I think, because in the timeline, it shows that Apocalypse kidnaps Mr. Sinister. And we know that Mr. Sinister deals with genetics, and Apocalypse has always been about how can we improve mutants, right? How to make them stronger, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister, they toy with Moira's powers, and I have a feeling that she can now maybe jump between each one of her lives.
That's really interesting, yeah. And then what's further kind of proves that theory, so in the very first beginning of the comic, there's a quote from Apocalypse saying pretty much...
he tells or I don't know if he's telling Moira. He's saying something. There's a quote in the beginning of the book. If you can find it in you to survive, if you are worthy, then I will make you into something more than them, something eternal.
Yeah, and then there's little annotations on the side of the quote too that say kind of like point that he's talking to a horseman. So if she's a horseman,
yeah, that means
probably
she's
talking
powerful.
to him. Yeah,
she does something crazy.
Well, not even powerful. She's just he obviously knows where her mutation is.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they increase it and.
Yeah, like I said, I think she's going to be jumping between her lives because her 9th and 10th life, it doesn't show her dying. Yeah, and then we get left with, another 2 quotes in the mutant language.
One is the same as last time.
Yeah.
So that's
it's,
the next
hello,
issue.
old friend.
Yeah.
Next, hello, old friend. Then, this is what you do.
And of course, yeah, I don't super know what the quote's about yet.
Yeah.
Maybe, so next issue is going to be Professor X and Magneto talking about the plan and maybe their mentality on what's going on. Because up till this point, like, you heard what Magneto thinks in the first issue.
Yes.
So he's pretty much the same way, but now he's saying, like, Professor X is going to lead us there.
Yep. And we don't necessarily know what Professor X
is because he's only been in the comic in, like, 3 panels.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like we're doing what I want.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it. Yeah, it's crazy. So, I mean, that brings us to the end of House of X number 2.
It does.
If, I want to know what you guys think. Yeah. Let us know what your theories are.
Do you think that Gene's theory is correct, or do you have your own?
What do you think about mine?
Yeah.
Is it stupid? I don't know. Put a comment down below. Yeah. Let us know. If you like the video, give us a like. We're a new channel. We'd appreciate all the support we can get.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to hear or if you want to get notified when we post new videos.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Gene, until next time. Well, next week. This week, because we're filming on Sunday.